everybody, this is Miss Route. I'm going to just pop in and do a video about day 2 and 3 of packet 2. And so I'm so excited. This part is about getting into the amendments, and keep studying for your quiz that will be on Friday. It's who's involved in the branches, and you'll have that practice quiz on money, so you can study that, and then Friday will be your quiz. So what was going on when they were writing the Constitution, the Founding Fathers thought, we've got this. They did the preamble, and it was the goals. Remember when we say preamble in class, remember what we did? We went goals for our country, and they're good. And so I think we went in, they're good through. And so they had the preamble, and then they went and they had the articles, which set up all the branches of government and the checks and balances system, so they thought they were good. And they were like, whew, we got this Constitution, it'll be awesome. And they took it to the other states to ratify or approve. And when the other states looked at it, they're like, no, you are missing something. And they're like, what are we missing? And they said, listen, you're missing the rights of the people. The king didn't give us our rights, and you've got to make sure our rights are listed in there. And they're like, okay. So they went back, and they added a third part to the Constitution. Now they added what they call the amendments. An amendment, it's hard to get it out there. An amendment is a change. And so, thank goodness they made it where you could change. So they made it like a living document now. They can make changes to it. And I think about all the changes I make in a day. You all should see the bloopers of these videos. There's a lot of changes I make. Because you mess up, you need to add and change things. So, our Constitution's been awesome, though. They've only had 27 amendments this whole time they had the Constitution, which is amazing. Okay? So, the first 10 amendments are called the Bill of Rights. And if we were in class, when I would say the Bill of Rights, you would look at your partner, you'd go, hey. But when I would say Bill of Rights, you'd say, hey, it's our rights, man. So when I would say Bill of Rights, you'd say, it's our rights, man. So the first 10 are the Bill of Rights. Now, and you will get, and the first thing you're going to do is you'll get a chart, and I put the Bill of Rights in here, and that you can look over that. And there's also a video that I'll put up on Google Classroom, and it's called The Bill of Rights, Pretty Important and Very Epic. You can look on YouTube. It's a really neat video. The song at the beginning, I really like it. And then on day 2, you're just going to look here at the chart and go over the amendments. We'll go over them each day, break them down. And there's this little thing that you can make. It's called a cootie catcher. You're all probably really good at these. I had to have help from my kids to make it. But so I know you'll be able to make it. So you'll make this, and it's got, so let's say if I picked USA. And then there's different numbers there. So if I pick the number 1, okay? So then let's say here, it says the rights of people are not limited just in rights in the Constitution. So I'll be thinking, oh, I can look at my charts. Where's the top of the other rights? And I'm going to see if I can guess what amendment that is. So I know, because I've been teaching this, it's Amendment 9. So I'd open it up, and look, I'm right, it says Amendment 9. So you can use this just to get familiarized with all the amendments. So let's see, flag, F-L-A-G. And then, let's see, number 2, 1, 2. See, the government cannot place soldiers in a private home. Remember that Quartering Act? So they wanted to make an amendment about that. So it's Amendment 3. So I pull this up to check myself. Oop, and I got Amendment 3, and it's got a little picture there. And so you can play around with this and try to learn some of the amendments, and each day we'll break it down. So, oh, there goes my catcher. So on day 3, you'll have your flashback there. And day 3, you're going to read about the First Amendment. Now, this First Amendment has so many rights jam-packed in there. Okay, it's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to break them down a little bit for you. So the First Amendment, one of the Bill of Rights, one of the rights in the First Amendment, let me get my chart to make sure I won't forget any of them, is the freedom of religion. Now, remember those people that we always said, religious freedom. That was the Pilgrims, right? So when they came over here in the beginning of the 13 colonies, they wanted to make sure we have religious freedom. So the Founding Fathers put that in there. So for religious freedom, you can go to any church you want to, or you don't have to go to church. The government can't do what the king did and make you go to his church. So religious freedom is one of the rights in the First Amendment. And then another one is freedom of press. Now, that doesn't mean that I can take my minion here and press his head. Press, look at freedom of press. Okay, this means that you can pick up your pencil and you can write whatever you want to write in a newspaper, magazine. I can write whatever I want to write. Now, I have that freedom. Now, in the colonies, they wanted to make sure they were able to write, because remember, the king was upset when they were passing and saying stuff, and they were making, and that Benjamin Franklin made those different things, and Paul Revere made all those engravings on the Boston Massacre and things. He didn't like that they were doing that, so they wanted to make sure they have that right, so they can write whatever you want. You need to take, though, responsible for your actions. If you write something that would hurt somebody, you can get in trouble for that. So, like, for example, if I wrote that I saw Miss Steinhauer throw eggs at the school, and she really didn't, and so then the school saw it, and then she got in trouble and maybe lost some of her wages, her money she didn't get paid for those days. They thought she threw eggs. I wouldn't do that. So that I could get in trouble because it's slander. I didn't write the right stuff. So you still got to take responsibility for actions, but you can have the freedom of press, meaning that you can write whatever you want to write. The next one is freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want to say. Okay, I can say whatever I want to say. Back before this, if they would say something about the king, they could go to jail. Now I can say anything I want to say, but the same thing is that I need to take responsibility for my actions. If I say something, like, whoever listens to country music is crazy. I don't believe that, okay. If I said that and everybody in the class got mad because they really like country music, I have to take responsibility for that. And I'll be like, I have to take responsibility. For example, there was a country group, speaking of country music, the Dixie Chicks. And one time they were in a concert, I think, or they were were talking about the president at the time was George Bush, and they said that they didn't like that they were from the same state as him. Well, people didn't like that, and some of the country music stations stopped playing their music. People got really upset. Well, they were supposed to be on the Country Music Awards show that year, and they had to put their performance on us via satellite. They couldn't even be in the same in the Country Music Awards show place because they were afraid they were going to boo them and get upset. So they had to take responsibility because of what they said. Now, they have freedom of speech. They can't get in trouble for it or go to jail like they did. But, you have to watch, you can say whatever you want, but you should take responsibility for your actions because it can upset people. But we can have that freedom of speech. We can say what we want to say. And they wanted to make sure that you have that right to stick up for what you believe in, because they did not have that right during the king. So freedom of speech. And then they have the freedom to assemble peaceably. So remember, the king took away their town meetings and the Intolerable Act. So they wanted to make sure they can go and they can assemble peaceably. Now, we can't go up and set fire to stuff or be so loud that it interrupts, the town and things like that. So you just freedom to assemble peaceably. Okay, so I've got all of these rights here in freedom. And number one, freedom of religion, freedom of press, freedom of speech, and freedom to assemble peaceably. See, they're all jam-packed in there. They have so many personal freedoms in that Amendment 1. That's all in Amendment 1. And Amendment 2 is the freedom to bear arms. Now, this doesn't mean that I have the right to have these two, my big guns here. That's what it means, to have guns, okay? They wanted to make sure that your right to have a gun, because remember, the militias, they were just farmers, and they wanted to make sure they had guns in case we needed to protect ourselves. So we went over Amendment 1 and Amendment 2, and you'll have things to read in your packet that will go over these, and then some questions that you can apply what you know. Now, if you need anything or anything's confusing, just let me know. I've put all my contact information on that packet. And thank you for watching, and miss you all. Bye.